Hello, everyone. I'm Warren Truth.
And I'm Monica Justice. Welcome to Low Country News. Today is June 19th, 2026, and we have a special news report today.
The Presidential Obama Center is open, and I'm thrilled to present this story. President Obama embodies the essence of a true president. Let's go to the footage.
It's finished.
Yeah.
It is opening.
You had a private moment, able to walk through
The two of
on
us,
your own.
for the first time since the exhibits and the art has been.
Well, the last time I was
Let's
on
see.
this floor, it was still a construction site.
We still had hard hats on.
I was speechless, which is hard for me to be.
And people are going to experience that when they walk through these doors. And they're also going to just learn more about your 8 years as President of the United States of America.
They will.
And what do you consider your greatest accomplishment?
Look, there's a lot of stuff I'm proud of. For all the resistance from our political opposition, the Affordable Care Act has now helped 50, 60 million people and continues to help people, even though the current Congress has tried to weaken it and taken away some of the subsidies that were really helping a lot of working people. The thing I'm probably the most proud of is the tone we set. I'm very proud of the message we sent to the country that we're representing everybody.
Is there anything in looking back that you would do differently as president?
Oh, look, I always used to feel like I was making a mistake a day. The thing that we were good at and allowed me to sleep at night and get up and go back at it was I always felt that when we made decisions, we were making decisions with the American people in mind.
From Barack Obama's time as a state senator.
Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty.
To the presidential campaign trail. And 2 terms in office, the Obamas leaning on their message of hope. Could that movement that you started then, could it happen now, Mrs. Obama, do you think?
It can always happen. People just have to be fed up enough. They have to want more. And I think the Presidential Center hopefully will remind people of just how close we are to moving this country in the direction that we want to move it in. You have one exhibit where people thought that it could never happen, that a black man, a black family would never live in the White House, that America would never accept that. And lo and behold, the whole country, the vast majority of the country believe differently.
Part of our foundation mission here is how do we encourage the next generation of leadership?
And walking the halls here, the museum really, it's about the promise of democracy. And it's very difficult for people right now when they feel a lot of their freedoms are being taken from them. They're very familiar now with Project 2025. Many of your policies are being rolled back. How do you, when you see these things happening, how do you deal with that?
There has always been sort of contesting stories in America. One story is that we find these truths to be self-evident, that all men, all people are created equal, endowed with certain inalienable rights. But there's always been a part of our story that is about the strong trying to dominate the weak. This country wasn't designed to be everybody marching in lockstep. The premise of this country is everybody gets a right to say, no, I don't agree with that. I challenge that. No, Obama, I think you're making a mistake. And then we have a conversation about it. And then it gets settled in an election, and all right, if enough people decide I didn't know what I was doing, then you move on to the next person.
And the next election we have coming up is a midterm.
That's correct.
And both parties, the polling numbers are very low for both parties.
People are a little discouraged right now. But again, I believe that we go through these cycles, and there's going to be a younger generation that pops up, and there are going to be leaders who pop up where people go. Michelle's mom was always good about saying this. You know how things get better? Is us old folks, we kind of fade.
Got to get out of the way.
We got to get out of the way.
I went on a tour, and it is just, it's hard to describe. There's so many exhibits, and the one that President Obama loves is called 10 Letters a Day, and it focused on letters from everyday Americans, including kids. And we had a special surprise for one of the kids who wrote him a letter, and that's tomorrow on GMA, and our expanded conversation streams tomorrow night on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Wow, what an incredible man and incredible president. And in my opinion, our current president can learn a lot from President Obama. Up next, local news.
Thanks, Dave. Well, families across the Lowcountry are holding their breath as thousands could lose insurance coverage to one of the largest hospitals in the Lowcountry. Cigna and MUSC continue to hold their ground during negotiations on a new contract. And after months of talks, the deadline for an agreement is just weeks away. News 4's Cameron Limes spoke with families who will be impacted by these changes. It has more. Cam?
It's a statement which led to thousands of families with more questions than answers and concerns about where they can take their loved ones for crucial treatment. For families across the Lowcountry, time is running out.
I don't know what we'll do. It's scary to think about.
MUSC facing a potential future without the partnership of Cigna Insurance. The statewide hospital releasing a statement citing Cigna is making decisions to generate returns to its shareholders and investors. Cigna responding in a statement of their own, writing MUSC's pricing structure is out of step with current market standards. After months of negotiations, neither party has made any move to meet the other, while patients and their families have been caught in the crossfire.
We've just developed a relationship with his care team there, really.
Armstrong's husband has been receiving treatment from MUSC after he had a brain tumor removed.
His surgery was $200,000. The medicine he's getting is like, what, $35,000, $40,000 a month?
For them, changing doctors would not only be difficult, it could also be dangerous.
I don't really think it's something where we should be popping around to different providers.
Yesterday, Fisher, my son, he actually had an MRI at MUSC.
4-year-old Fisher was diagnosed with level 2 autism and receives regular care at MUSC.
And just in this year of having an official diagnosis, they have helped us so much, given us so many resources.
For his mother, Kayla, the staff at the hospital have become a support system.
Right now, we're just praying and waiting and hoping that they come to some sort of agreement.
Both parties were given to the end of June to reach an agreement. Working for you, Cameron Limes, News 4.
Well, after months of allegations and investigations over a controversial land transaction, Hanahan Mayor Christy Rainwater told her side of the story before a state ethics panel this morning. News 4's Jane Caroline Fusco reports from Columbia.
It's a case that centers on a piece of Hanahan City property, a real estate commission, and questions about conflicts of interest. Today, a state ethics panel heard testimony about whether or not Mayor Christy Rainwater crossed an ethical line during a 2022 land deal.
I stand before God, and I know what I did was to protect the city of Hanahan.
Commissioners spent the morning examining whether Mayor Christy Rainwater should have recused herself from a city land transaction on Yeamans Hall Road. At the time, Rainwater was working as a realtor with Carolina One, the same real estate company that received a commission from the deal. She says she believes the complaint is part of a longer effort to push her out of office.
Why are we here today? I think that's a great question that everyone should ask. I don't know what the future holds, but it's wasting time and resources from myself, from our council, and from our staff.
During the hearing, Rainwater acknowledged she helped correct the closing paperwork after a commission for Carolina One was left off the documents. But commissioners wanted to know was whether she should have stepped aside from the deal once she became a realtor with the company.
Why did you not recuse yourself from this and say, yeah, I should not sign this?
Had the thought crossed my mind, right? I think if I had been a realtor when this whole thing started, my eyes would have been wide open.
Rainwater says she never personally received any of the commission money and believes she was simply doing her job as mayor by pointing out what she called a clerical error before the deal closed.
Had that been left with an error, had that clerical error not been in contract, we wouldn't be in an ethics room. We'd be in a courtroom right now with an actual non-frivolous lawsuit.
Rainwater says this case hasn't changed her thinking about the future, including whether she'll run for re-election this fall.
I just haven't made that decision yet, but this case will have no bearing on that. I can sleep very well at night knowing I did exactly what I needed to do for the residents. Those are the ones that elected me and those are the ones I serve.
The panel did not make a decision today. Now they'll review the evidence and the testimony before publishing a written decision in the coming weeks. But in the meantime, Mayor Rainwater says that it's back to business as usual at Hanahan City Hall. In Columbia, Jane Caroline Fusco, News 4.
Well, we're learning new details tonight about a frightening situation at a North Charleston daycare yesterday. North Charleston police say they received a report of a child in the middle of the road after escaping from the center. News 4's Nick Bass is in North Charleston with more.
And as a mother, how does this make you feel?
Terrified.
Wednesday, North Charleston police say they responded to a call about a child that had been found. They say a driver saw the child in the road and called the police.
The fact that the daycare is located on Dorchester Road, it being a really busy road and a lot of people drive incredibly fast. You don't know how far the child could have gotten.
A police report states the officer knew there was a daycare nearby and decided to check there. That daycare, Coastal Academy North Charleston. And when officers spoke with staff, they told police they were in fact missing a child.
By the time I got here, this section of the fence was already being fixed. A police report states authorities believe this is where the child got out.
You just can't imagine getting a phone call of, your child escaped.
According to state records, Coastal Academy had at least 6 complaints last year, several of them related to direct supervision. They sent a statement today that reads in part, quote, "The safety and well-being of every child in our care is our highest priority. We are committed to thoroughly reviewing this matter and taking every necessary step to ensure the safety of all children in our care."
What would you say to parents who are a new mom like you that's looking, for a place to send their kid?
I think honestly, word of mouth, right? So anything on the internet, looking at those comments, looking at every comment, reading everything you possibly can is going to be the most critical.
Police say the mother was called and the child was returned back to her in North Charleston. I'm Nick Bass, News 4.
I hope you guys are staying dry. Up next, weather. We are taking a look at the forecast for the Low Country.
We are continuing to provide updates on Friday morning's First Alert Weather Day as the remnants of Arthur move towards the Carolinas. What that means for you at home is that you'll receive important information more often, and our major impact overnight into early Friday morning is heavy rain and isolated flooding. A major flooding risk is still ongoing out towards our south and west. The northern Gulf has seen plenty of tropical moisture over the past 2 and 3 days, and even closer to home, we still have a level 1 and 2 risk of flooding. Again, that's a little higher out towards Orangeburg County because of recent heavy rain. Now, Future Tracker technically brings our main line of thunderstorms through before daybreak on Friday. That's starting off around 4 or 5 o'clock west of I-95. And we could see some downpours, some gusty winds, and maybe some brief spin-ups happening through 7 and 8 in the morning.
Thank you for watching Low Country News. All right, y'all, let's move ahead to worldwide news.
This morning, one day after the new agreement took effect, the deal already being tested. Israel carrying out intense strikes in Lebanon. It comes as the White House is delaying plans to kick off the next phase of negotiations. Vice President J.D. Vance was expected to travel to Switzerland overnight, but his travel called off at the 11th hour. The White House saying the logistics of these negotiations have never been simple or predictable, adding we look forward to beginning technical talks as soon as possible. The agreement calls for the war to end on all fronts, including Israel's strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. But the Israelis, who have been the U.S.'s partner in this war but were not involved in this deal, have made clear they aren't withdrawing from Lebanon. Briefing reporters Thursday, the vice president with a blunt warning to Israelis critical of the agreement.
If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, a growing number of Republicans are incensed by the president's deal, calling it a win for Iran.
Giving billions of dollars to theocratic lunatics who want to murder us is an exceptionally bad idea.
Senator Tom Cotton, the chair of the Intelligence Committee, concerned that Iran is already profiting simply by signing the agreement and reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
We're going to lift sanctions on Iran's oil exports right away. And based on their pre-war rates of production and recent prices for a barrel of oil, you're looking at somewhere between $150 and $200 million a day.
The vice president describing the deal as a win-win, adamant Iran won't receive any financial benefits unless they, quote, change their behavior. But that's not what the deal says. I pressed the vice president. Under this deal, they are being allowed now to sell their oil freely. Again, how is that not a financial benefit? And they're being allowed to do that without making any new concrete nuclear commitments. So can you explain how is that not lopsided?
Well, first of all, they've made very concrete nuclear commitments. They have committed to the destruction of the highly enriched stockpile that they have in their possession. But number two, all we've done is lift the blockade in the Straits of Hormuz. We basically returned it to where it was before the conflict. The blockade is off. We put that in after the conflict started. The straits are now open.
In the document, Iran does not commit to destroying its nuclear stockpile. The deal only states that they've agreed to negotiate the issue further over the next 60 days. Now, as for what comes next, President Trump has made clear he expects Israel to get on board with this deal. But there is no question this is really testing the president's relationship with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump has been increasingly openly frustrated with him, even saying the other day, quote, "Without me, there would be no Israel."
Yes, that's how it's done. Up next, sports. Low Country Sports News Alert.
On a Low Country native making his commitment last night, West Ashley alum Matty Brown announcing on Instagram that he's committing to Coastal Carolina. Brown, who was the 5A pitcher of the year in the state in 2024, has spent the last 2 seasons at North Greenville, and he's been excellent there. He went 11-0 with a 2.4 ERA his freshman year, followed that up by going 9-3 with a 2.62 ERA as a sophomore. He also had 141 strikeouts and 168 innings of work.
Well, we are less than an hour away from the U.S. men's national team's second World Cup game, taking on Australia in Seattle.
This game is crucial. It will decide who advances to the knockout stage, but Team USA will be without one of their key players. KTLA's Jillian Smuckler is live at the Free LA Galaxy watch party in Long Beach, where thousands of people are expected to attend. Hi, Jillian.
Hi, Sam. Yeah, you're exactly right. People are packing in here. For the last match, they had about 4,000 people here in Long Beach. This time, they're expecting even more people. You can see the crowds are growing, but you just mentioned it. A lot of these soccer fans are reacting in real time to some major news involving one of Team USA's biggest stars. We are talking about Christian Pulisic. He has officially been ruled out of today's match against Australia with a left calf injury. Now, he had been considered a game-time decision throughout the week, but the team's manager confirmed this morning that he will not be playing in today's game. Now, that's a significant loss for Team USA. Pulisic, he helped create 2 goals in the team's 4-1 opening win over Paraguay before leaving at halftime with that injury. Even still, though, there's plenty at stake for today's game. Both the U.S. and Australia, they won their opening World Cup matches, meaning the winner today will be in the driver's seat to win Group D and then improve its position heading into the knockout rounds. Now, back out here live, I want to show you fans are packing in for this LA Galaxy hosted soccer celebration. There's giant screens, of course, broadcasting the match. There's music, there's games, there's activities for kids. A lot to do. I want to introduce you to one family. Super excited. They have been here since it opened. Thank you guys for being here and talking with me. How excited are you despite this major loss? We just learned, obviously, one of Team USA's biggest players out for this game. How are we feeling?
We're feeling optimistic, and USA, we're going to get them. We're going to get them without Pulisic, and it's going to be amazing.
You guys have been here since the very beginning. Why was it important for you to come out here today and show your support?
Just to support this team. It's a lot of fun. Got to have some fun in life.
A lot of fun. Also, you, my friend, you played soccer growing up. How cool is it for you to have the World Cup? Obviously, some matches are here, not today's, but being able to root on Team USA with everybody else here in Los Angeles. Talk about that.
It's the most beautiful game in the world, and I'm really happy that it's here in our own backyard and we get to experience it. Even if we don't get to go to the games in person, it's nice to be out here in the community.
Especially because there's so many watch parties happening all over. Again, this last time, 4,000 people showed up. They're expecting similar numbers, but we have a lot of optimistic fans. I guess finally, you guys aren't worried. Team USA, you think we can pull it off? USA, let's go!
Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to True Perspective 843 on all platforms.
For Low Country News, I'm Monica Justice.
And I'm Warren Truth. Good night, everyone, and see you tomorrow.